Here we are for an inspirational live stream. A long one, that is. Oh, pardon. But we're here now, the inspirational live streams. Sure. Oh, no worries. No trouble at all. No trouble at all. No worries for missing it. And Pamela, hello, howdy, Pamela, howdy, and hugs and cuddles to you always. Nice big long ones always. Hello to you. And Rexy is in. Hello to you, Rexy. And Dave, nice to see you from very chilly Sydney. It's only 16 degrees today after being 34 yesterday. Bloody hell, that's baking hot. That is very baking hot. And Hailey, hello to you. Epic Motivation, hello. Yes, a hug to you. Hello to you. And Epic Motivation, if I may ask, are you a male or female? Please do let me know. No, always a nice long hug and cuddle to you, always. But I do know the circumstances when one shouldn't give you a cuddle, Pamela, is if you're sleeping. Is when you're sleeping, those are the absolute no cuddles or hugs circumstances. I know that fully well. And all that. And hello to Maria. Hello and hugs to Maria always. And ta-da! Hello to you, Maureen. Hello. Hello to you always. And Sir Lord Dandy, nice to see you always. It wouldn't be for Pamela, unfortunately. Epic Motivation, no. It may be okay for some people, but Pamela wouldn't be one of them. Hello to you, Dominique. Hello to you always. Nice to see you. Ouch. Oh. 64 Fahrenheit. That's wonderful weather. 64 Fahrenheit. Better than what we've got over in England. It's cold. Nothing but cold. And Lindy. Hello to Lindy and the cats. Hello. And Lindy, I know Hutch and Mel could not do a live stream yesterday, but yesterday I filled in for them by doing a live stream. And just to let you know, Lindy, I'm seriously thinking that in future circumstances, on the occasional basis, if Hutch and Mel cannot do their weekly Sunday live stream, I'm going to sometimes fill in for them by doing the Sunday live stream. If on a certain Sunday that they cannot do a Sunday live stream, I thought I'd tell you of that, Lindy, just to say. Just to give, Hutch and Mel's following something to watch and something to do. The mods will be lurking, Pamela. The mods will be lurking. And before long, you'll see one of them pop up before too long. It's Sunday live streams, Lindy. They're not going to happen all the time. They're going to happen sometimes in the circumstances that Hutch and Mel sometimes cannot do a Sunday live stream. Thought I'd tell you that. Oh, but Pamela, I've got 2 new presentations to show. I thought you'd be happy to know I've got 2 new presentations to show. What noises, oh dear. Hello to you, Tina. Not staying because you're going to leave. Not to worry. Nice to have seen you and saying a quick hello to you. Yeah, no, Hove is colder than Australia right now, particularly Sydney. Yes, this is true. Epic Motivation. This is certainly true. Well done for the timely reminders here. I do know that you love and look forward to my presentations. I do know that, Pamela. And just to let you know, we're going to be going on quite a great long while for this live stream here. Oh, and if Dave is still here, just looking for him. Just to let you know, Dave, I did go to the Fishbourne Roman Palace to tell you of things. An enchanted place, and I've got a video of it. It's not edited yet, but I am going to get it edited. I will get it edited up, and once it's edited up, it's going to be released. Thought I'd tell you. You like the picture behind me? A door. The one with the door and picture. That's the mirror reflection. But that picture, that's a Terence Cuneo painting portrait that I've got. I've got two Terence Cuneo portrait paintings. Terence Cuneo, the famous railway artist, and also he was well known as a famous war artist too. You will love it. Fishbourne Roman Palace, Tina, is worth visiting. It's well worth visiting. Oh, thank you, Dave. Thank you kindly. And I shall look forward to hearing your feedback on it. I mean, Fishbourne Roman Palace. But just to give you a quick warning, Dave, they only just opened up about a couple of weeks ago following their winter break. Just got to look it up. Oh, just to let you know, Dave, Fishbourne Roman Palace, it will not be open during November, I'm afraid. During November of 2025, it's not going to be open because they only open from February until the end of October of every year, apparently. So, unfortunately, Dave, Fishbourne Roman Palace will not be open by the time you're over in England. But it will, however, because they only open February to October annually, as I've just said. So unfortunately, it won't be open by the time you're over in the UK. But I'm hoping you're okay, Dave, and hoping you're feeling better following your nasty, nasty, nasty ill health ordeal. Hoping you're okay following your nasty ill health ordeal. I have a pure heart. Thank you, Epic Motivation. Thank you kindly. Your hair moves. Really? Imagine you've got long hair, Tina, if it moves. Oh, thank you, Maureen. Thank you most sincerely, kindly. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Pamela. If I could, Pamela, you'd get a nice long hug from me right now. You know. Thank you, really, for your kindly support. No, really, Pamela. Thank you for your forthright, lovingly, kindly support towards me always. Thank you most sincerely, kindly for it. Thank you. They can take time to produce the presentations. Yes, it just depends how long they are. It depends on how long the presentation is and how much you've got to share about it. I am bringing you to areas and events you likely wouldn't. I wouldn't see otherwise. Oh, thank you, Lindy. Thank you for saying I'm genuine. I actually had Hutch and Mel saying that I'm a genuine man. And even Sapper said that I was genuine. Oh, thank you, Tina. Yes, I'd give you a hug as well. Thank you. Thank you. And Blacksmith, hello to you always. No, Lindy is so lovely as usual. Thank you, Lindy, for your kindly friendliness towards me. And thank you for saying that I'm genuine, unlike some other YouTubers, but you wouldn't dare mention. Not to worry. I'm sharing the world with you. Oh, thank you, Pamela. Thank you for saying so. I know, Dave. Yes, I know. But never mind, next trip. They open from February to October annually, which I only just found out in recent times. But yes. But yes, no, they're only going to be open February to October, unfortunately. That's what the opening times for Fishbourne Roman Palace is, the opening days. But their opening times are different. From February to April, Dave, Fishbourne Roman Palace only opens from 10 o'clock in the morning until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And then from May to October of every single year, they open up from 10 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock in the evening. So they open slightly longer during the latter spring and summer periods up until the latter part of autumn, or fall, as they'd say, one would so say in America and Canada. Fall, that is. But yes, unfortunately, they're not going to be open whilst you're over, I'm afraid. You're feeling much better, just get tired very easily. Had the exact same illness the Pope has now. Yes, I heard about the Pope. He's got pneumonia, poor man. And he's very elderly, too, and got pneumonia. Have I ever been to the Tram Museum? Which Tram Museum are you referring to, Sir Lord Dandy? Please do tell me, if you could be so kind. Happy learning you are well, Maria. Happy learning so. Anna, and cheers, everybody. Cheers. A nice glass of lemonade. That was. I heard, Lindy, I heard, yes. Double pneumonia. When you're almost 90 and you've got it, that is terrible. I do like a good drink. Epic Motivation. I certainly do like a good drink. And in case one wants to know, you're drinking water with a little berry-flavoured electrolytes. How lovely. Sounds like a wonderful drink, Pamela. But in case anyone wants to know, I've not heard back from Sophie. But never mind. Not to worry. But all I can really say to this is that if I do run into her, I run into her. But if I don't run into her, I don't. I think that's really the way to look at it. And what's most important is that one never gets. All I can really say is that one should never. I shouldn't get hopes up high, and I've never gotten my hopes up high on that. Just to let you know. Oh, Pamela, right, yes. You forgot to tell me you all had a wonderful birthday celebration for your father. He's doing very well. Oh, how wonderful. How wonderful, learning he's doing very well. I'm so pleased for him. I mean, he had it very tough for health last year, as you'd said. But I'm very pleased he's doing much better now. And hoping your mother's okay. I mean, isn't she 85 now, your mother? Something like that, Pamela? Because I've forgotten. I'm pretty sure she's about 85 now, because you did say that your father's a few short years away from turning 90. But I'm happy learning he had a lovely birthday celebration. Happy learning so. I mean, at his age, you don't know just how many more birthdays you're going to celebrate after. That's the thing. Well, one must never get their hopes up too high whenever somebody's come over from far away. No, you couldn't have explained that better enough. You certainly couldn't have explained that more truthfully, Pamela. If it's meant to be, it will happen. No, we all have to be patient while we have our lives unfold in front of us. You couldn't have gotten this more right, Pamela. You certainly couldn't have gotten this far more right, indeed. But really, but utmost and foremost, Pamela, I'm extremely happy learning that your father had a nice birthday celebration. Oh, Maureen. Oh, my lovely, lovely Maureen. Don't you know just how wonderful you really are? Sorry, I've got a text message. Excuse me a moment. Right. Okay. I think the sub mode is on. And the comment was pinned. Oh, she's 83. I'm sorry. I don't know why I thought this. I thought she was 85. Well, she's 83. Okay. Thank you for telling me, Pamela. Thank you for telling me. That's as far as what it's. I did, Jody, got the comment pinned and subscribers only mode, but I can double check again. I can certainly double check again. I don't know why on earth I thought she was 85, but thank you for your correction, Pamela. It's just something I obviously got very wrong by mistake. But, you know, mistakes happen, don't they? Or aka shit happens, excuse my naughty language. Okay, right, just gotta check something. What the? What the? As it turns out, I forgot to put my subscribers only mode on. How stupid of me. How incredibly stupid of me, because I was certain I had it on. I was completely certain I had it on, but I'm very certain that I had the comment pinned up. But subscribers only mode I'd forgot to turn on. How very stupid of me. I mean, how extremely stupid of me to have made that silliest mistake. I forgot to put the subs only mode on Epic Motivation, so very, very stupidly I forgot to do that. Thank you, Anthony and Sir Lord Dandy, for your friendliness towards Jody. Thank you. Thank you. Mistakes happen, but you like to call them learning opportunities. Oh, Pamela. Honestly, Pamela. No, really, honestly. I really wished I'd learnt this from you from an early age. I really wished you did tell me this from an early age. I mean, had you known my parents many, many years ago when I was a little boy, I just wished you'd said to me as a little boy that making mistakes is what you'd so described them to be as learning opportunities. No, you have a very good and loving way at looking at some certain things, Pamela. And I do value the way you lovingly look at certain things. No, I really do. And I mean that. I mean that when saying this to you. So thank you. Thank you always for being always so unfailingly loving and friendly to all, and especially the way you lovingly and kindly look at certain things. Thank you. Thank you. This is only as truth has things, Dawn Marie. It's only as truth has things. Sorry, wait a moment. Anne Sapper's here. Hello to you. Hi, y'all. I have a big dick. A dig pic. You have a dick Digbick. Oh, wow. Yep, our Sapper is in here. Indeed he is. Hello to you always, good man Sapper. Hello. Sorry, I had to sort something out because of something I stupidly forgot to do. And the locker room talk starts already. Yep. Indeed so. This is true. I have to stop myself that. Oh, epic motivation. Aren't you silly? Oh, aren't you silly? Yep, so Lord Jim Dandy is in here, Sapper. Yep, and you've certainly got me, Sapper. Indeed you have. Yes, no. That's all right, Jody. No trouble at all. Certainly no trouble at all. No trouble at all. Oh, you can't stay, Sapper. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Don't worry if you cannot stay. Right, just got to pull the curtain. Don't worry if you cannot stay. No trouble at all. Certainly no trouble at all. But it's wonderful seeing you on here as usual. No, this is only true, Sir Lord Dandy. Yes, it's only true. It's certainly only as truth has things that Sapper's subscription count is going up and up alongside his viewership. But let's hopefully we can get him up to monetization potential for the end of 2025 or for sometime in 2025. He deserves the monetization potential. Indeed, he does. Sapper's always brilliant. With song videos he does and live streams, but I don't know what's happened to his Naughty Bagpuss song, because Naughty Bagpuss was funny. Once upon a time, not so long ago, there was a naughty girl, and her name was Emily, and she owned a pawn shop. You see everything from that shop window for the depraved and very, very rude, but funny. Oh, you removed it due to its very naughty content. Sapper, it was funny. It was a funny song video. It should have stayed up. It really should have stayed up because it was so funny, the song, and it was brilliant. Naughty Bagpuss was brilliant. It really should come back on, but never mind if not. 99 watch hours to go. 99 watch hours to go. Well done, Sapper. Well done. Well done. I do hope, and I'm seriously hoping you make it, because you deserve it big time. Oh no, it was a shame that Naughty Bagpuss got removed, because it was such a funny song, and it was greatly amusing. We'll leave it for you to decide, Sapper. You know, it was just such a funny and a greatly amusing song to listen to. Naughty Bagpuss, that was. But please, no trouble at all. No trouble at all. Since you decided you were to remove it due to its naughty content. No trouble at all. No trouble at all. A lot of his musical creations are AI software generated, yes. But the live streams he does A lot of it's him talking and representing music, but the introduction and the ending part are generally AI generated and edited to describe. Hitting it on your spur. Well shared. And just to let each and every one of you know, and as you all know, I've got two representations to share here. You've added it back again. Sherpa, if you wanted it deleted, that's fine. No trouble at all. It was just, it just popped up in my head randomly, naughty bagpuss. That's all. But, actually, it's quite early that I'm going to be showing this, but I think I'd ought to show the Hastings, one of the representations, the newer ones that I've got, I'm going to show today. But I really wasn't aiming to show it until much later on into the live, but I'll show one now. But much, much later on into the live stream, I'm going to show it now, and let's give it a good listen to, shall we? Well, in this very representation here, we're going to look at some insight into an interesting cliff funicular railway, being that of the Hastings East Hill Cliff Railway, or the Hastings East Hill Cliff Funicular Railway. That is a very, very wonderfully fun funicular railway for one to ride on. But history has it, regarding the Hastings East Hill Cliff Funicular Railway itself, is that it was opened in August of 1902 by the Hastings Borough Council, which was originally operated on the water balance principle, and the twin towers of the upper station contained water tanks for that purpose. The line was modernised between 1973 and 1976, during which time it was converted to electric operation and new cars were provided. The line was shut in June of 2007 at the time of its 105th opening anniversary because of an incident where a fault in a control panel caused the cars to fail and stop at the right point, which resulted in damage to both cars and stations, which led to a major refurbishment program in 2008 for the new cars and new safety controls. Before long, the line reopened in March of 2010. And it's been opened ever since. But following the closures of the lines of the funicular railways in Broadstairs and Margate, the Hastings East Hill Cliff Funicular Railway, astonish one as it might, remains now the steepest funicular railway in the United Kingdom. What a surprise revelation that is. But I've had the privileged fortune of riding the Hastings East Hill Cliff Funicular Railway twice. First back in October of 2021, and secondly in February of 2025. And I'm certainly looking forward to riding on it more times throughout 2025, the Hastings East Hill Cliff Funicular Railway. Thank you all most sincerely, kindly, for taking the time to listening to this very representation itself. Thank you kindly always. Yeah, that was the first presentation I had to share with you. Gorgeous alive! Gorgeous alive! Martin! Hello, Martin. Hello to you. Oh, thank you, Maureen. Thank you kindly. No, I would always support Sapper big time. I'd always support Sapper big time. I know, Maria. I well and truly know, yes. You know, but it's impressive regarding the history of the Hastings East Hill Cliff Funicular Railway. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you kindly. Oh, do it again. Hello to you, Martin. Thank you, Hailey, but Epic Motivation wants to watch it again because Epic Motivation, I really don't know whether it's a male or female, wants to watch it again because I think Epic Motivation missed it. No, I'm happy it reopened. No, it was not closed forever. No, it's not. No. Hello to you, Maria. Oh, thank you, Maria. Thank you kindly for your support. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Not to worry, Martin. I'm going to play the representation again. I'm going to play it again for those who missed it. Well, in this very representation here, we're going to look at some insight into an interesting cliff funicular railway, being that of the Hastings East Hill Cliff Railway, or the Hastings East Hill Cliff Funicular Railway. That is a very, very wonderfully fun funicular railway for one to ride on. But history has it regarding the Hastings East Hill Cliff Funicular Railway itself is that it was opened in August of 1902 by the Hastings Borough Council, which was originally operated on the water balance principle, and the twin towers of the upper station contained water tanks for that purpose. The line was modernised between 1973 and 1976, during which time it was converted to electric operation and new cars were provided. The line was shut in June of 2007 at the time of its 105th opening anniversary because of an incident where a fault in a control panel caused the cars to fail and stop at the right point, which resulted in damage to both cars and stations, which led to a major refurbishment program in 2008 for the new cars and new safety controls. Before long, the line reopened in March of 2010. And it's been opened ever since. But following the closures of the lines of the funicular railways in Broadstairs and Margate, the Hastings East Hill Cliff Funicular Railway, astonish one as it might, remains now the steepest funicular railway in the United Kingdom. What a surprise revelation that is. But I've had the privileged fortune of riding the Hastings East Hill Cliff Funicular Railway twice. First back in October of 2021, and secondly in February of 2025. And I'm certainly looking forward to riding on it more times throughout 2025, the Hastings East Hill Cliff Funicular Railway. Thank you all most sincerely kindly for taking the time to listening to this very representation itself. Thank you kindly always. Yes, that's true, Pamela. 1902 was when it opened. It's going to be, yep, in 2 years' time, it will mark 125 years since it opened up. Just to let you know. You think you went on it, Martin, really? Yes, I know you were 6 in 1980, Martin, I know that. But you really don't look as if though you were, what, 6 years of age in 1980. Having seen what you look like, Martin, I could have easily thought you were born. I never would have thought you were born in the early 1970s or short of the mid 1970s. No, you could easily pass for being younger than 50 easily, especially with the fantastic head of hair that you've got. I mean, you've got as much hair as Trevor and Graham. I've certainly got to say, and as much hair as what I've got. You know, I mean, I think even Pamela was quite impressed by the full head of hair that you've got, because even Pamela has something for my hair. No, but I do appreciate Pamela's compliments regarding the hair I've got. Went on this as a child. Oh, how wonderful. No, I'm very glad they figured something out and developed the new safety measures, even though it came at the expensively pricey cost of taking 3 years to get fixed up and done. I'm happy they did so too, Pamela. But thank you for saying it was very informative. Thank you most sincerely, kindly indeed. Very old. Look, oh, it's worth riding on, highly. But just let you know, there's a cap limit as to how many people can ride in the cars, namely because of they're small cars and they're very old. And obviously it's a very old funicular railway, and it can only take so many people, given the size of the cars. It can only take about 16 people, I think, per each car, something like that. We have a steep line here in Sydney. It goes under the Blue Mountains. It's the steepest railway in the Southern Hemisphere. Oh my goodness, wow, very interesting. Very, very interesting indeed. Hello to you, Shane. Hello to you always. Hello. Anthony being dirty again. I don't know. I never asked. I never asked. Oh, thank you, Pamela. Thank you kindly. And with you and the long hair, as you did describe to me once, I could only imagine you're very pretty with the long hair, and especially when you got asked for ID when you were trying to purchase a certain type of paint when you went to purchase it recently. And you pretended to try not to be offended by being asked for ID when you went into that store that you had to be a certain age to purchase this particular certain type of paint and all that. You took a girlfriend to Hastings in 2002, a dirty weekend, checked into a hotel on the front overlooking the Swans. It turned out to be an old people's retreat. No, she wanted the name. The name of the railway, Pamela. It was the Hastings East Hill Cliff Funicular Railway, just to say. Well, Pamela did actually talk about it a few live streams ago. She did talk about that. Oh, and Nathan Lawson's here. Hello to you. Thank you. That the Hastings Cliff Funicular Railway. It's what's going on. Have I ever heard of the Linton and Lynmouth Cliff Railway? No, I haven't. Nathan, I have not heard of that one, no, unfortunately. That one's powered entirely by water from a stream. That's to say. No, it's not, unfortunately, Martin. No, I'm afraid not. No. No. Just got that and a pair of blue-coloured corduroy trousers on. The good old days before you were born, and when they made and at the time when there was a simple way of doing things and making things in a much more simpler way compared to it going all mechanized and all that. I haven't seen more yet, Anthony, no, but I am eventually going to do more research into Barrett Letty. But not yet. Oh, it's certainly a pleasure, Maureen. Certainly a pleasure indeed. And also, now that we've got Nathan in here, and also I don't think Martin or Epic Motivation, also Lord Dandy have seen this presentation as of yet. But I thought I'd show it anyway, since they're in the live stream chat right now. Thought I'd show it. But some of you would have likely already seen this for yourselves. It's obvious to point out that we have garden centres up and down the length and breadth of our country, or in many places around the world. But this garden centre, well, in my opinion, I thought it was a nice and enchanted little garden centre. First time I'd ever been, and this was located over in Essex, in the West Sussex County, not far from the Thatched-In pub, but a bit of a walk away from it, and actually quite a fairly considerable walk away from it. But Thatched-In, no, not Thatched-In, I always forget the name of the Hassocks Garden Centre. Well, let's just say it's the Hassocks Garden Centre, but a nice little garden centre to look around if one's interested in purchasing some new plants or garden seeds, vegetable seeds, or gardening equipment when one needs it most and all that. It's a nice little place, and it comes in handy, almost certainly, for the Hassocks residents. This enchanted little garden centre located over in Hassocks in the West Sussex County at large. And a very jolly nice little place. I was almost speechless, but not in a bad way, but speechless in a good way because of how enchanted the garden centre was. Or certainly as I so thought when seeing it with my very own eyes and my very own hands-on experience and all that. So, so yes, it's a brilliant, brilliant place to be. The Hassocks Garden Centre. Would I go again? I'm certainly planning on visiting it again in the future, almost certainly, without a questioning ground of doubt. Oh, yes, indeed. But this is it for now for the Hassocks Garden Centre presentation. Thank you all for taking the time to listening, and we shall certainly be going there again at some point in 2025, but not on an event-attending weekend. Much enchantment and much success for the future sustainability of the Hassocks Garden Centre business. That was one some of you have not yet seen. I think Martin and Epic Motivation particularly haven't seen that one. But that was another one I was going to show. Hi, Laurie. Hello to Laurie Meller. Hello, hello, hello to you always. Thank you, Maria. I mean, yes, you wouldn't have seen that one either, but thank you kindly. Thank you kindly. And I'd like to show another representation, which obviously Maria, Laurie, Nathan, and I think Martin may or may not have seen this one, but I know most of you have seen this presentation. So I thought I'd show another. Past presentation here. If you were to visit or go to an enchanted event, or a very interesting event in that case, where it's featuring a lot of vintage and heritage vehicles, well, the Hastings Sprat and Winkle HCVS run, well, that will be the event for you. Certainly is it the event for me to happily attend to and be certainly perfectly amused by attending this very event itself. And also, it's certainly the event that amuses my best friend of nearly 4 years, David Scott. The Hastings Sprat and Winkle event, it takes place generally, by and large, on, generally speaking, the third Sunday of October of every single year. It's likely been going on for a long time, this very event, and I've been attending this very event now since October of 2021, which was when I first became remotely familiar of this very event itself. And obviously, one can thank David, my bestie, for introducing this very event to me. When one's generally going to an event like this, being that of the Hastings Sprat and Winkle run, well, the Hastings Sprat and Winkle HCVS run, in this case, and HCVS stands for Historic Commercial Vehicle Society, because it is ran, this very event is ran by the Historic Commercial Vehicle Society itself, to share this all with oneself. And the Historic Commercial Vehicle Society are known to host quite a great few events annually every single year, be it from the London to Brighton Historic Commercial Vehicle Run, and they always put in the noted HCVS to it because it is ran and operated by the Historic Commercial Vehicle Society itself, and things like the Pennine Historic Commercial Vehicle event, and a wide range of historic commercial vehicle runs and all the rest of things. So this one would be no exception, but namely has a slight showcase difference to the London to Brighton historic commercial vehicle run, but this one, it's generally known to start, I think, from Sevenoaks in County Kent, and then all the way to Hastings the Stade, just outside of the or across the walking pathway to the RNLI shop on the Hastings seafront, and also nearest to the Hastings Miniature Railway itself. So, Hastings, Brett and Winkle. Oh my goodness, I would certainly recommend this very event to those of you who are located up and down the length and breadth of the United Kingdom itself. Well, if you're up for a weekend away or a weekend out somewhere outside of your home locality, well, if it's going to be on the weekend, the Hastings Brett and Winkle HCBS run is taking place, well, I would certainly recommend the Hastings Brett and Winkle run event itself. If you've got nothing to do on a Sunday and you're thinking about going on an outing but need a change of scenery, well, this is certainly the event I, and definitely David, I would certainly imagine, would both certainly by and large recommend. Oh, yes, 100%. Big time on that, indeed. Obviously, one should be aware that sometimes there are complex weather circumstances on certain weekends. Well, this happens all the time, as one can imagine, not just in the United Kingdom itself, but in other countries, to so mention on a fairly truthful, evident noting and all the rest of it. And as you see here in the very pictures, it was a rainy day. It was quite wet and rainy, and certainly was it windy when I went to the Hastings Brett and Winkle HCVS Run event, when it last took place on Sunday of the 20th of October 2024, and it's my concluded assumption it should be taking place on Sunday of the 19th of October 2025, because when I first went, it took place on Sunday of the 17th of October 2021, which would have been the 75th birthday anniversary of my wonderful late grandfather Edmund, and I am very happy I went to this event on this day, because had I not found out or gone to the Hastings Spratt and Winkle HCVS run event, I probably would have been sat at home crying in tears and feeling sorry for myself because of the 75th heavenly birthday or 75th birthday anniversary of my wonderful late grandfather Edmund. And obviously, this is another example of one of the events I attended, another example of the events going annually that's proved instrumentally useful alongside the other events I've gone to over the last 3 to 4 years now since meeting David. Those events, in particularly the London to Brighton historic commercial vehicle run, but in this particular case, the Hastings Brett and Winkle HCVS run, this event, including that, has proved instrumentally useful in helping me with eventually overcoming the loss of my wonderful late grandfather Edmund, and hence noting out that when I went in on the 17th of October 2021, which would have been my grandfather's birthday, it really has proved instrumentally useful in overcoming the loss since he died nearly 5 years ago on the 18th of February 2020, and also the 17th of October 2021 really did, though it was a sad day, inevitably, it really did, it proved useful in softening the burden on and help and loosening and reducing the sadness of the very anniversary date itself when I went, as one could imagine. Though sad on the day, I had something to do as opposed to just sitting at home feeling sorry for myself, which was the main thing. And also, of course, as you know, it helped me with overcoming the loss of my late grandfather Edmund. This event and all the other events I've been going to annually for the last 3, 4 years now, it's also helped with overcoming a great deal of sadness, well, a crippled sadness, because the months followed after the loss of my late grandfather Edmund, as you know, there were other hard times happened, and other hard things happened within that time, all in 1 year, which obviously has an effect mentally. But yes, this is certainly an event I would recommend for those of you who are not sure what to do on your Sunday, on the Sunday, because it's a Sunday, the third Sunday of October, every single year this event takes place. And if there are those of you up and down the length and breadth of the United Kingdom who are unsure as to what to do, but want to go out, but want a change of scenery on the third Sunday of October, well, Hastings, Brett and Winkle, it's an event I would recommend, but obviously it would require going to Hastings, and it's quite a walk from Hastings Station to Hastings the stage where it takes place on the third Sunday of October, if I may dare repeat. Thank you all for taking the time and watching this very representation regarding the Hastings Spratt and Winkle HCVS run. Thank you all for taking the time to listening to this very representation. Indeed. Thank you most sincerely always. That's a presentation some of you have not yet seen. Some of you have already seen it, but this one obviously was one that some of you have not yet seen as of yet. Hello to you, Carly Clogs. Hello to you. Thank you, Carla. Thank you kindly for your friendliness. Thank you. Oh, thank you. It was not just grief. Grief. It wasn't just loss that it diverted me away from, but it diverted me away from other troubles I was going through within months after what happened to my late grandfather Edmund. I was dealing with 4 troubling issues at the time when I first met David Scott. But I'm happy that this event attending has helped me overcome the troubles and all that, and overcome, what was a crippled sadness and getting through a critically low point in my life. All that. I'm happy David Scott came into my life as well, Maureen. I'm extremely happy he's came into my life and that we've got a strong best friendship bond now. David Scott, epic motivation, just to say. No, you're completely right, Pamela. You're certainly completely right. I mean, to reference another example of getting, getting busy, to reference an example, yourself doing all the farming work and all the rest of things. That's one example of keeping busy. Barrett Neddy does a great impression of Gilbert Gottfried. He can do his voice just like him. I don't know what's happened to him lately, but he was good to watch and very good at bringing the world together. Epic motivation. But with overcoming what I was going through at the point was David Scott and what he introduced me to. But I'll always regard him, David Abel, as a good friend. I really would. Love the 1920s vehicles. If you ever won an lotto, you would say you fully restored one. 17th of October is your birthday, really? Really, Dave? The 17th of October was my late grandfather Edmund's birthday as well. Impressive. How impressive. Happy learning you're well, Carly Clogs. Happy learning you're well, Carla. And hoping little pops as well. I won't go too far saying this because obviously I'd need to be vitally importantly reminded is how's your little girl Pops? How's the little pocket-sized Pops? Hope she's all right. Hoping she's well. Oh, thank you, Harriet. Hello to you, Harriet. But thank you. Thank you for your kindly endearment as usual. Thank you most sincerely, kindly always. Barrett Leddy does a great impression of Gilbert Gottfried. He can do his voice just like him. How lovely learning so. But don't worry about the typo, Anthony. No worries at all. Certainly no worries at all. Happy learning you liked the presentation. Epic motivation. Happy learning so. I certainly couldn't agree with you more, Pamela, and I couldn't tell you how thankful I am to have Harriet and Jodie as my mods, Pamela. I appreciate them enormously, big time. Hello and hugs to you always. Hello and hugs to you always, Harriet. Well, lots of cuddles and hugs always. But do be assured, Harriet, if Pamela was giving you many hugs and cuddles, she would only do it gently. Do be assured she wouldn't hurt you giving you a hug. I thought I'd tell you, because as she said, she always hugs, firmly as she may hug others. She always does it gently at the same time, as she did tell me. You enjoyed those photos. How lovely learning so, Laurie. Thank you for telling me so, and thank you for sharing your very review of the photos of the Hastings Spratt and Winkle 2024 event. No, Dave, do tell me about it. You feel so honoured. You feel honoured to share a birthday with my beloved late grandfather Edmund. Oh, thank you, Dave. Thank you kindly for your support. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, my Edmund, Dave. He was one of the truest. He was the truest of gents. He was the truest of gents. He was really, well and truly, to showcase the point, Dave, he was really the epitome of a true gentleman, true and true, my late grandfather. You know, there was one true gent and one true gent I only knew when growing up, and that was nobody other than my wonderful late grandfather Edmund. But I mean, how terribly touching and pleasing learning that you feel honoured to have shared a birthday with my wonderful late grandfather, Dave. Thank you for sharing this openly with me. Thank you. Thank you. I never knew this up until today, Laurie. I certainly never knew this up until today. He's got a very annoying voice. Gilbert Gottfried. Gilbert Gottfried. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. It also makes you want to check out more on Hastings. How lovely learning so, my lady Laurie. How lovely learning so. But hoping you're okay, Laurie. Hello and hugs to you always, my lovely, lovely lady Laurie. Even if we'd seen them, you enjoy seeing them again. You see something new each time. How lovely learning so, Pamela. How lovely learning so. No, thank you, Pamela. Thank you kindly. I mean, I'm pleased with the result it's brought out in me. I'm extremely pleased with the result it's brought out in me. And there was a particularly touching compliment I was going to read here, but I forgot to read it out. Your precious daughter, who you were so privileged to have after going through cancer tab at age of 28, makes your life worth living. Feel truly blessed having her. Oh, Maureen. Oh, my lovely, lovely Maureen. I think if above and beyond anything to so share a point with you, Maureen, I think I would imagine your daughter is extremely fortunate in having you in her life. I mean, who couldn't be more lucky to have such a loving mother like yourself, Maureen? Who couldn't be more fortunate? I mean, certainly, who couldn't be more fortunate having you? You know, who couldn't be more fortunate to have such a loving mother like yourself? No, but I cannot begin to describe how sorry I am for you regarding your serious cancer ordeals you faced. No, but you know, I mean, and then you had cancer again at the age of 58, and after your second cancer ordeal, your health took a battering afterwards, to the point where you're now riddled with poor health. Poor you, Maureen. If I could, Maureen, I'd give you lots of nice long hugs and cuddles, especially if you were my mother, Maureen, you'd definitely be loved enormously unconditionally by me, and certainly would you be receiving lots of hugs, cuddles, and quite a great deal of plenty of affection from me. No, of course, Harriet's right. Harriet is certainly right. I don't know enough about Gilbert Gottfried. I don't know enough about Gottfried. Pamela, not enough. Gilbert Gottfried. Also, the 28th of February is one of my friend's birthdays, just to tell you odd things, Anthony. My friend Deborah Coleman, that's her birthday too, 28th of February. That's her birthday too. Epic motivation. I certainly do not think you're a liar. I do not think you're a liar. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, that would probably make me embarrassed. If I did a Harrison Ford. I mean, if I did a Harrison Ford presentation, that would probably blush me embarrassed. That would blush me embarrassed if I did that. It would blush me embarrassed, to be honest with you. That would really blush me embarrassed. You have to give me a compliment, Noddy. Okay, I'm ready to see it. Been meaning to. You love my hairstyle. Oh, thank you, Noddy. Thank you kindly. I've gone with this hairstyle generally for quite a long time now. You know, but it was just under a couple of weeks ago I had my hair cut. You know, I've gone with this hairstyle for quite a good few years now. But yes, maybe it's the cute waves at the front, but it suits me. Thank you. Thank you, Noddy. Thank you kindly. And thank you for saying that they were cute. And oh, Pamela, you have a compliment. I always give your favourite representations on the entire internet. You enjoy them immensely. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you kindly. Oh, yes, Mia and Molly the cats. Happy learning they are great, Anthony. Happy learning so. I've got to watch Regarding Henry with Harrison Ford. You cry every time in a good way. I'll need to give it a watch, Harriet. I'll certainly need to give it a watch indeed. I have the Holy Spirit. Thank you, Carla. Thank you kindly indeed. Face swap videos with Charlie Chaplin and no need to change the hair. I haven't thought about doing a Charlie Chaplin deepfake of me. I haven't thought about that. I mean, I don't think Charlie Chaplin had quite my face shape. I don't think he had quite my face shape. But, interesting idea. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you kindly. My hair is classic, like a 1930s movie star. Oh, thank you, Pamela. Thank you kindly. Thank you. Oh, and thank you, Lottie, for your compliments regarding my hair. Thank you. Thank you kindly. It's the 1930s style. I never knew it was 1930s. I actually had some people saying to me that some even went as far as saying to me that my hairstyle was very 1920s, much to my astonished surprise and all that. But thank you. Thank you kindly, Lottie and Pamela, for your friendliness regarding my hairstyle. Thank you. No one hardly sees. I have, to be honest with you, Pamela, I've hardly ever seen anybody with hair done in the way that I do it. Hardly ever seen anybody with hair like mine nowadays. Harriet was asking about Matt Lyons. Harriet, I never thought it was 1920s or 1930s either, but I had people saying to me that my hairstyle was very 1920s once. And I was like, was it? Oh, okay, well. No, but really, Laurie and Pamela, thank you kindly for your friendliness. Thank you for your kindness regarding my hairstyle. Thank you. Thank you both always. Thank you. How do I get the curls? Genetics, epic motivation. Curls, I've never curled my hair. It's genetic. Can I tell you something, epic motivation? It's my mother who's got very, very curly hair. My mother's got curly hair. I mean, my father doesn't have curly hair, but it's my mother who's got some curly hair. But that's where the curls came from, if it answers your very questioning. Gilbert Gottfried died. Oh, he did die. Oh, I didn't realize he died. Oh, gosh, 67. That's too early. 67, that's far too early to die. Much too young. That's hardly anything at all. 67. Much too early. Ooh. Sorry about that. Just had to let a yawn out. It's the natural. Oh, thank you, Noddy. Thank you kindly. And some of you have not yet seen this presentation, but I'm going to show it now. But before...
Gordon's alive?
But I thought I'd show this presentation because some of you have not seen it as of yet, but many of you have seen it. I'm going to show it now. If you were to visit somewhere quite interesting or have a nice little peep around in this very, very, very enchanted and extremely interesting museum, well, Seaford Museum Martello Tower, number 74. This I could recommend 100%. I could recommend this museum to anybody and all people of all kinds. Tourists who are visiting the United Kingdom from their foreign home country, if they're on holiday over to England and the United Kingdom, especially if they're going to Seafood Museum. I could recommend it to tourists, and I could even recommend it to friends, certainly family, and also to all couples alike. Honestly, it is the place. I even, it's certainly the place for families to go and have a nice look around to Seafood Museum with very good decent price entry prices, and certainly a good price if you want to have an annually held membership there at Seafood Museum itself. But as some of you may already be aware, on Sunday of the 2nd of February of 2025, my bestie David Scott and I, we happily went to visit the Seafood Museum itself. Small things as David and I may well be, at 5'4.5" and 5'8" and 11 stone of weight, respectively, it did not stop us from taking the risk in going to the Seafood Museum itself. But Seafood Museum, the history it has, the Seafood Museum, namely it's namely maritime related, and maritime related museums are as interesting as any museum could get. All museums are interesting: history, maritime, transport, or organ museums, which I'm yet to do, but I'm hoping to do it sometime this year as part of 2025, Make Things Happen. Seafood Museum, it represents the history of seafood and also lots of older history, from like showing old shop exhibits and also showing the old computers and cameras or old merchandise is on display at the Seafood Museum itself at large and all the rest of it. Enchanted place to go to, and certainly would I recommend it to anybody. I mean, it was thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyable, my experiences at the Seafood Museum itself. Indeed, is it the place to go to, and for when I start going on dates, which I do hope, harder as it is to make friends nowadays, in a few bits and pieces, but fortunately not in every aspect of life. For when I start going on dates in the future, years to come, or for whenever it happens, whoever my date may well be, romantic date that is, I would certainly take her to the Seafood Museum itself, because it's definitely the nice place to chill out to and have a look around with couples. If you're a couple or if you're in a dating romantic connection of a relationship, it is certainly the place for it. Or certainly the place to take your date, or spousal companions, or companions of all types. Seafood Museum. I would say that for any museum, but Seafood Museum in particular. No. But Seafood Museum, oh my goodness. I would certainly recommend it big time indeed. Representing all the history from seafood over the years to what it's like presently now. But may I thank each and every one of you for taking the time in listening to this very uh representation regarding the Seafood Museum itself. And I'm almost definitely and certainly going to visit Seafood Museum in the future months to come over the course of 2025. Ta-ta for now. Thank you for listening. It's seafood. It's seafood, yes, Laurie, seafood, yes. Seafood Museum, that was. Seafood Museum, it's not too far from Brighton. It's about just over an hour, about just under or around about an hour on the train from where I am. It's about a 1 hour's train trip, something like that. And Hastings, I did see your question regarding Hastings. Laurie, regarding Hastings, because I did see your question, but I forgot to answer. It's about around about an hour or an hour and a half away on the train. It doesn't take too long to get the train, but it would take longer by bus, just to tell you odd things. And it could take longer by car, depending on which route you're driving to. If it answers your very questioning, that is, Lottie. That was your first time seeing it. It was fantastic. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you for your kindly review towards me. Oh, wait a moment. If you was a young unmarried lady, you'd really enjoy a date there. Well, whoever I run into a date with, be it a young unmarried lady, I would certainly take her here. But the only thing is, Pamela, I really don't know. I mean, I really don't know very many 20-plus-year-old girls who enjoy history museums and all that. I really don't know many who take an interest in history museums, except for one. Only found out one 20-plus-year-old girl who's keenly interested in history museums and also art gallery museums and things. But I really don't know anybody except for one person who knows something about who are interested, sorry, in history museums and art galleries, what have you. Just to say. I have good. Oh, thank you, Pamela. Thank you. Yes, no, one must be patient. Oh, no, Laurie, yes. I think I'm probably one of the only people over the age of 20 who has a great fascination towards museums like the Seafood Museum and all that. You'd like to go on an all-you-can-eat seafood buffet museum. An all-you-can-eat. Oh, gosh. Oh, wow. I don't think I could ever get into Strictly Come Dancing or Love Island. When you was that age, you were still very interested in galleries and history was your favourite subject. Wow! How interesting learning so, Laurie. How extremely interesting. Gosh, but what's with you, Harriet, in now? Now, is this a new subject here? Is this a new affinity of yours? All-you-can-eat buffet restaurants or all-you-can-eat buffet museums, what have you? I never knew you had an affinity towards food. Even in your 20s, how lovely. I don't think I could ever lose my interest in history. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Buffet game. Hi, Monica. Interesting museum. Did you like the presentation? Because I'm not sure if you saw it, but thank you for sharing so. Thank you kindly, Monica. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, oh well. Although I only know one girl who's interested in history museums and art galleries, and that's my friend's granddaughter, Sophie. And I was amazed when I learned this, because I never would have thought she'd be interested in it until I found out. I covered all the boxes there on the perfect date. Oh, thank you, Harriet. Thank you. Very nice displays. I certainly couldn't agree with you more, Pamela. And the typewriters, oh, they were a fantastic display. It's wonderful seeing a typewriter in a museum that's well preserved there, rather than them getting thrown out. Well, the thing is, Pamela, there were some who had not seen it as of yet. That's the thing. Oh, no. Like Anthony said, none of you could ever bore me. None of you could bore me ever again. None of you could ever bore me. None of you could bore me. All of you are fantastic. You're always extremely interesting, and you always fascinate me. You never once bore me. And Anthony certainly couldn't have gotten it more right. None of you could bore me, and Anthony couldn't have been more right and said it more truthfully. No, oh, thank you, Laurie, my lady. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you always, and hugs always. You're a picky eater, really, Harriet. You're a picky eater. Well, I do hope you eat enough, Harriet. Since you said you're a picky eater, I do hope you eat enough, despite being a picky eater. Maybe I'll meet a girl at a museum. That's always possible, Dawn Marie. That is certainly always possible indeed. You're a picky eater as well. Little did I realize this. You'll see this complete. He was teasing. No, you are good. No, I know. No, I'll never be bored by you or anybody who watches my content, Pamela. None of you could ever bore me. None of you. With your big mouth, you're sure you eat it. You're sure you eat enough. Fingers crossed. No, I'm sure you do eat enough. I'm sure you do. Your husband was based in RAF Digby in Lincolnshire. Lots of farmlands. Yes, because your husband's ex-military, isn't he, Carla? He's ex-military as far as I'm certain. Oh. And there's some of you in here. There's another presentation. I mean, some of you are yet to see some of my former presentations, but this one I certainly want to show to each and every one of you. And here it is. Should one visit this enchanted little place? Well, I think it could be the place for you if you're interested in history in a similar way to how I am. Though, as truth only has things, everybody has a different preference to a certain liking of certain things. The Essex Museum of Gardening is enchanted. I took a paid visit to the Essex Museum of Gardening in the latterly part of January of 2025, and my experience when I went there, it's by all means, and certainly beyond a doubt, or beyond questionable doubt, a very nice, a very interesting experience learning about all the different kinds of lawnmowers from all different eras. That was what captivated me with great interest when I went, personally speaking for myself, from my own end of the woods of the experience from when I went. But the Essex Museum of Gardening is certainly something I'm going to recommend to all. I'm certainly aiming to go back there again for sure, but as a means of making this presentation interesting in one way or another, I thought I might show you more or less all there is to offer at the Essex Museum of Gardening. It really does get interesting, especially when learning about lawnmowers from all different eras. May I thank you all most sincerely kindly for taking the time in viewing and listening to this special presentation I've just shown here. Thank you all for listening. Well, that's another presentation here. I've got to pull my chair in more properly. And think that's better. But that's another presentation here. One of your favourite seafoods is crab. How lovely learning so, Blacksmith. How interesting learning of this from you. Extremely interesting. Come to Caerleon. Lots of history. Thank you, Carly. Thank you for the recommendation. Thank you. The wife loved a cafe on Portland Bill for their crab sandwiches. How interesting. Valdensha, hello to you. Oh, I've got many presentations. I've got many to count. Oh, thank you, Dom. Thank you, Dawn Marie. Thank you for your friendliness towards Harriet. And thank you, Harriet, for your friendliness towards Dawn Marie. Thank you. Laurie, yes. You like lobster. Love it. Mussels too. Not so much fish, except battered fish and chips and fresh oysters. Yummy. I mean, I had calamari for my tea tonight. I had some calamari with some vegetables. No, it was just a long blink. It was a long blink, just to say, no sleeping at all. No, but please don't mention anything or assuming that I fell asleep, because then that will just get my life stopped otherwise. You love calamari too. How lovely, Laurie. How lovely learning so. How lovely learning so indeed. You love history too. You're a fan of the Tudor period. Your adulation for castles. How wonderful learning so, Dave. How extremely wonderful learning so from you indeed. And also here's another presentation to show, because there is... Do I have a recipe I could tell us about? Oh, but just to let you know, here's another presentation. Some of you have seen it already, but it's a presentation for those of you who have not seen it, and let's insight into it once again. If you were to visit a museum as enchanted as this museum, well, I would certainly recommend it big time. Amberley Museum is certainly the place to go. It's all thanks to my good friend Jonathan Clements for introducing me to the Amberley Museum itself, and because of him, well, I first went in September of 2024, and I recently went again on Sunday of the 9th of February 2025, and intend to do so certainly when on weekends, or certain weekends when there are no events going ahead. I'm certainly aiming to go sometimes on some weekends during the latterly autumn and winter times of the year, because it still gives something to do when there are no railways and events going on. I'm talking preserved steam miniature or standard gauge railways, that is. But in this case, Amberley Museum, the history it represents with the old telephones or a lot of old stuff it might represent and all the rest of things, it is just phenomenally enchanted. Some of the best history representations I have ever personally seen. It's just about as good as Seaford Museum is, Amberley Museum, in my opinion. And am I going to go again? Well, I certainly am, especially since recently signing up for membership at Amberley Museum. Annual membership, that is. Well, what I'm going to do is pay once annually for membership, and because of that, I intend to keep going however often I can for whenever chance allows, certainly on certain weekends where I have not got an event to go to, provided I do not have important circumstances, family circumstances, that is, because family circumstances come first and foremost. But that's beside the point, even though it is vitally important. But regarding this representation being Amberley Museum itself. Would I recommend this museum? I most certainly would. And like I said, comparably to, or as I do so say, comparably to how I view the Seafood Museum itself, for whenever I start having romantic dates in the future, I will certainly be taking my romantic date to Amberley Museum if she so wanted to go. Indeed, I would. And if we say moved out of home, for example, and we were living together, or whatever romantic date I was living with, this would probably be a long time yet in the future. Um, I would advise if she liked Amberley Museum, if she personally liked it, I would definitely recommend she would sign up for membership, and we would probably both go with you taking advantage of the memberships, if she so wanted to do so, that is. But it's obviously very likely that whoever I'm in relationship with is going to have a very, very vastly different interest to what I'm going to have. But that's okay. But Amberley Museum, it is definitely the place for me, and I would recommend it to not only just all of you, for those of you up and down the length and breadth of the United Kingdom, but I would certainly recommend it to my friends domestically, and of course, or people recommend it to other friends, to those who I know, and to to families. And of course, to couples, I would certainly recommend Amberley Museum too. Quite the wonderful place. Thank you all most sincerely for taking the time in listening to this very Amberley Museum presentation. Amberley Museum, you rule! And here we go for Amberley Museum 2025 events for when they get started up come the latter part of spring of 2025. Oh, who's that? Who's that? Oh. Oh, no, 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 no. No, I wasn't. No, 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 no. No, no, no. No, I'm okay. I'm okay. No, I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm okay. I'm okay. There are a lot of items in display at that museum. You could look for a lot, as could I. Actually, Pamela, can I tell you something? Can I tell you something, Pamela? David and I, we both went together actually, and we spent about 2.5 hours looking at the exhibits the Seafood Museum had to offer. We spent about 2.5 hours there. I don't have a disease, no, I haven't got a disease. Oh, if I did accidentally momentarily fall asleep, my apologies. It doesn't often happen, but I'm all right. I'm all right if I close my eyes without realizing, but I'm all right. I'm okay. Thank you. Hello to Martin from Los Angeles, California, United States. Martin, you are quite a wonder. First, you say you come from San Francisco, and then next, Los Angeles. Oh, as could I always at these. You thought it was for the best. No, thank you, Harriet, thank you. But I'm okay, I'm okay. No, sorry, but if I did momentarily close my eyes, my apologies. No, I remembered you saying, well done for all that you did in your nursing career, Laurie. Well done for all that you did in your nursing career. Thank you. Those are presentation videos. Those are not uploaded videos. Those are presentations with my voice in it. No, I'm not a narcoleptic. I'm not a narcoleptic, no. I don't often fall asleep every few seconds. It doesn't happen. Oh, it takes you all over, does it? Oh, okay. Thank you for telling me, Martin. Thank you for telling me. I'm a bit tired, yes. I've had a long day. But I'm okay now. I'll be all right. I'll just have a good I'll be having a good sleep. Yes, I had a late night last night, but I'll be having a good night's sleep tonight. But I'm okay. But to tell each and every one of you, I'm going to show all of you now one of my latest live stream presentations. This is not one of the old ones. It's not an old one, it's a new presentation, and one of the new ones I'm going to show right now. Let's have a good look at it. If one was to visit a quite an enchanted point of interest, or a fun and inspirationally interesting point of interest, might I recommend the Hastings West Hill Cliff Funicular Railway, or sometimes it's just simply known as the West Hill Lift, which as which to share the insight regarding it in its representation and things, it's a funicular railway located in the East Sussex seaside town of Hastings. It's been in operational since 1891, the Hastings West Hill Cliff Funicular Railway, opening up 11 years earlier than the Hastings East Hill Cliff Funicular Railway and things. And with 500 feet in length and 170 feet height difference compared to the other railway, with 2 cars and 16 cars per passengers, or 16 passengers per 2 cars, for which it could fit in and maintain. The first operator went bankrupt in 1894, probably as a result of the construction's delays and the cost overrun. And it was ran by the Hastings Partner Lift Company until 1947, 2 years after the Second World War. After the end of the Second World War, that is to be precise. But to mark the railway centenary, the line was fully refurbished in 1991. And in addition to the Hastings East Hill Cliff Funicular Railway, this Hastings West Hill Hastings West Hill Cliff Funicular Railway proves instrumentally useful in giving visitors and holiday makers access to the Hastings Country Park for those who are visiting Hastings. And also, I had the good fortunate privilege of riding on the Hastings West Hill Cliff Funicular Railway back earlier this month in February of 2025, and certainly am I aiming to ride it again more times throughout 2025 or whenever chance allows. Thank you all most sincerely kindly for taking the time in listening to this very representation regarding the Hastings West Hill Cliff Funicular Railway. And here's to certainly more visits to this particular wonderful funicular railway itself. Thank you all for listening, everybody. Well, that's another that's the one of the latest presentations here. You don't really like tunnels. You don't even like driving into covered parking garages. Oh wow. Oh wow. That is something. Oh no. I'm not snoring. I'm all right. I'm certainly not snoring. I think sometimes it can provide a bit of comedy when one inadvertently sleeps, only to hear it. What was that? What was that? What was that? Oh yes, I'm here. That sort of thing. It's a just a bit of humour to share. What was that? What was that? Yeah. No, I'm not snorting. I'm not snorting. Okay, that's enough. That's enough for now. But I hope that wasn't too much what I was doing. I thought I'd show something funny here. No, I thought I'd just be a little bit, a touch bit naughty and a touch bit funny. The stuff of nightmares. What? I wasn't trying to represent any nightmares, Harriet. Harriet. Oh, Harriet. Oh, I say, Harriet. I was certainly not trying to represent anything nightmarish at all. Nothing hellish or nightmarish was meant to be represented. Not one little bit, no. Certainly nothing nightmarish at all, no. No, 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 no. But there was a bit of an unusual joke that Harriet cracked the whip on and all that. Oh, Maria. No, but you're always so lovely, Maria. No, you're always so lovely, but I'm sure, I think had Harriet seen this, I'm sure you'd get a nice long hug from Harriet. And of course, I mean, and also your kindness towards Pamela and all. I think from all of us, we'd certainly give you a nice long hug if we could, lovely Maria. We certainly could. No, of course we could. Some of us are tall enough to give you protective hugs. But do be assured, Maria, we'd be gentle giving you hugs. And as Pamela would say, she would never want to hurt anybody giving oneself a hug. As she said, she'd always hug somebody firmly but gently. Just to say, muscular as she might be, she'd always hug firmly but gently. I think whenever you do hug somebody who's muscular, you do sort of feel the strong strength when it's done. Although, well, me personally, I'm not a muscular man. I think it's fair to say, well, if one sees the size of my arm, well, if one could see the size of my arm, that's definitely not a muscular arm. It's fair to say I'm certainly not muscular, by all means. No, I'm certainly not at all muscular, but never mind. But you know, I'm happy being a small, fairly skinny, dark-haired man. I'm happy with that. That's what I'm most happy with, and all that. I mean, I'm sure any girl would like a small, dark-haired man and all that. But sorry if it was a bit much saying so. No, because I actually have gotten into trouble for fat shaming in the past. So I'm really have to be careful how I describe something like that. No, I know that. I know that. That's a point, Pamela. But I was only just showing a point, what it could be like, what it could feel like being hugged by somebody who's muscular. That's all. Nothing rude or offensive was meant to be shared on that. Yeah. A nice long hug for Pamela. No. All that. Well, especially since you always get the hugs on, get your grandchildren hugging your legs, as you did say to me before, Pamela. And I was like, well, not to worry, Pamela. The grandchildren will eventually grow out of hugging your legs. And then you're like, but I don't want them to grow out of hugging my legs. No, I do not want them to grow out of hugging my legs. No, I really don't. No, I don't want them to grow out of it. No. No, but hopefully they'll never grow out of the hugs and cuddles, hopefully. Because like you've said before, your son always gives you a big long bear hug to the point of resting his chin on your head. I'm handsome. Oh, thank you, Pamela. Thank you for saying I'm handsome. Harriet Buzzgate. All is good. Oh, thank you, Harriet. Thank you. Yes, no, but one thing I can say, Pamela, I mean, even though you said this quite a good few days ago now, or about a week ago or so now, even though you said this to me about a week ago or so now, I'm happy learning that your son has a lovely wife. And I'm happy that, I mean, so long as you and your daughter-in-law get on okay, I mean, your son's wife, that's the main thing. You know? I mean, I don't know. I mean, if she is indeed a small lady, which is my guess, but I'm not sure if she is or not, she's definitely lucky to have a big, strong protector like your son. You love little leg hugs, even if they have messy mouths and sole your clothes. Oh, gosh, that is something. That is something. You love little leg hugs. I mean, I don't know if you've ever had lap hugs from your grandchildren, or if they've. I'm not sure if you. I'm not sure if they've ever given you lap hugs or not. With them, you giving them hugs on the lap and all that. And all that. So yes. Oh, she's small. Oh, bless. Oh, bless her. Well, what that means is, Pamela, is that you've got a little girl for a daughter-in-law. It must feel very nice having a little girl for a daughter-in-law, and she's got a protector like your son, and of course, and the good thing about you is that you've got a little girl for a daughter-in-law, because I think as every mother wants or every mother-in-law wants is always to still have a little girl or a little boy. But it's nice learning you've still got that you've. Well, it's nice learning that you've got a little girl for a daughter-in-law. That's very nice learning. So, I mean, I think any mother-in-law or son-in-law would love you, Pamela. I think any daughter-in-law or son-in-law would love you very, very dearly, and all that. Most men get a buzz out of your hugs. Oh, oh wow, Harriet. No, but I am happy learning she's a lovely wife to your son and a wonderful mother to your grandson. Now that's the main key thing. I'm pleased learning of this. I'm certainly pleased learning of this, Pamela. I'm certainly most greatly pleased learning of this from you. Indeed so. No, but there is an apology I owe regarding the Sunday live stream. I'm so sorry about the internet connectivity cuts. I mean, for those of you who were on the Sunday, occasional Sunday live stream special on the Sunday just gone when I was filling in for Hutch and Mel's live stream, missed Sunday live stream because Hutch and Mel didn't do their Sunday live stream. They couldn't for certain reasons, and I was only voluntarily filling in for them. For those of you who were present when it happened, when the internet cuts happened, my sincerest apologies. And I know some did leave the live stream because of what happened. I don't think they were angry, but I was worried they might have been upset because of what happened. But I thought I'd provide my apologies all the same, even if it's not terribly less necessary. Not, being that the Sunday live stream, but I thought I'd explain myself anyway. I was at the Fishbourne Roman Palace recently, Pamela, and they've got a little garden there, so I would include that in the video. Oh, because not this live stream, but one of the previous live streams, the Sunday live stream special, which is not going to be a monthly live stream, by the way. It's just going to be occasional. But that's why I was apologising. But no worries at all. Oh, thank you, Harriet. Thank you kindly for your support. Thank you. Oh, my friend Avery is in. Hi, Avery. Hello to you. Hello to Avery from the Noah the Cat community. Hello to you. Hello. Avery, just to let each and every one of you know, is one of my friends from the Noah the Cat community. Oh, Harriet, could you explain this to Laurie, please? Please explain the reference to all the gates you throw at us. We all carried on chatting and waited. I know, but it was not nice when it happened. Figured you would check in and hit the like button before getting in the shower, since you'd just got home from work. Oh, not to worry, Avery, no worries at all. Thank you, Pamela and Harriet, for your friendliness towards Avery. Thank you. Oh, it's certainly a pleasure, Pamela. It's certainly a pleasure indeed. And here, for luck, here's another present. I know some of you have not seen this, but many of you have seen this one. I thought I'd show this presentation now, just to say. If you were to visit a museum as enchanted as this museum, well, I would certainly recommend it big time. Amberley Museum is certainly the place to go. It's all thanks to my good friend Jonathan Clements for introducing me to the Amberley Museum itself, and because of him, well, I first went in September of 2024, and I recently went again on Sunday of the 9th of February 2025, and intend to do so certainly when on weekends, or certain weekends when there are no events going ahead. I'm certainly aiming to go sometimes on some weekends during the latterly autumn and winter times of the year, because it still gives something to do when there are no railways and events going on. I'm talking preserved steam miniature or standard gauge railways, that is. But in this case, Amberley Museum, the history it represents with the old telephones or a lot of old stuff it might represent and all the rest of things, it is just phenomenally enchanted. Some of the best history representations I have ever personally seen. It's just about as good as Seaford Museum is, Amberley Museum, in my opinion. And am I going to go again? Well, I certainly am, especially since recently signing up for membership at Amberley Museum. Annual membership, that is. Well, what I'm going to do is pay once annually for membership, and because of that, I intend to keep going however often I can for whenever chance allows, certainly on certain weekends where I have not got an event to go to, provided I do not have important circumstances, family circumstances, that is, because family circumstances come first and foremost. But that's beside the point, even though it is vitally important. But regarding this representation being Amberley Museum itself, would I recommend this museum? I most certainly would. And like I said, comparably to, or as I do so say, comparably to how I view the Seafood Museum itself, for whenever I start having romantic dates in the future, I will certainly be taking my romantic date to Amberley Museum if she so wanted to go. Indeed, I would. And if we, say, moved out of home, for example, and we were living together, or whatever romantic date I was living with, this would probably be a long time yet in the future. I would advise if she liked Amberley Museum, if she personally liked it, I would definitely recommend she'd sign up for membership, and we would probably both go with you taking advantage of the memberships, if she so wanted to do so, that is. But it's obviously very likely that whoever I'm in relationship with is going to have a very, very vastly different interest to what I'm going to have. But that's okay. But Amberley Museum, it is definitely the place for me, and I would recommend it to not only just all of you, for those of you up and down the length and breadth of the United Kingdom, but I would certainly recommend it to my friends domestically, and of course, or people recommend it to other friends, to those who I know, and to to families. And of course, to couples, I would certainly recommend Amberley Museum too. Quite the wonderful place. Thank you all most sincerely for taking the time in listening to this very Amberley Museum presentation. Amberley Museum, you rule! And here we go for Amberley Museum 2025 events for when they get started up come the latter part of spring of 2025. One person you could thank for getting me into the one person you could well and truly thank for getting me into attending and going to the Amberley Museum itself, Jonathan Clements. I mean, Jonathan Clements. Had it not been for him, I'm sure I never would have gone. This is true, Carla. Yes, certainly true. You can thank Jonathan for introducing me to the Amberley Museum itself. Your parents and all their family are Canadian. How lovely learning so, Pamela. How lovely learning that your parents are Canadian. How lovely learning so. Now, Pamela, since you mentioned the stagecoach stop, there is a bus company here in England and up and down the length and breadth of the United Kingdom called Stagecoach Bus Company. Stagecoach Bus Company operates the Route 700, quite a popular route, just to let you know, which goes from Brighton. It used to do Brighton to Portsmouth. Now it generally does about Brighton to Littlehampton. But we've got a lot, and there's also a stagecoach bus Route 17 that does Brighton to Horsham. Just to let you know. Thank you, Carla. I mean, I always enjoy hearing your feedback. Gaza means stalks. How interesting. Many states in the past live in a smaller city. Gaza is Spanish. Oh, is it? Little did I realize that. Gaza's Spanish. You married a man whose family are Mexican. How interesting. How very interesting indeed. An entire continent, yes. Oh, wow, you've been to a lot of places, Lonnie. You certainly have. I think the furthest I could ever fly over to is Canada or America. I don't think I'd ever want to fly out to Australia or New Zealand because it would be too far for me to fly out to. And also, I wouldn't want to fly that far. No, I think America and Canada is about as far as I'd want to fly to. And also, here's to a representation, an old one I thought I'd show. Many of you have not seen this, but many of you have, but some of you have not seen it as of yet, but I'd show it now. Just This event here is one of the classic card events I've been attending now only since 2023. Before one asks, this event is the Worthing Lions Classic Car Show event, which annually takes place by and large on the final weekend of July every single year. As one would see, there are a range of classic cars, and it's known, I think, within the Lions Classic Car Group. I don't know the classic car group that specializes in the Worthing Lions Classic Car Show well, but the person you ought to ask in order to receive a fairly reasonable answer towards, he would share his tint of knowledge on it, David Scott. But this event, is it worth going to? Oh, it is worth every bit of time and money. And the concepts I've seen in these events are valuable conceptual experiences. These events may not be everybody's milk and biscuits, but is it worth going to for just an attempt? Oh, it most certainly is. This is the insight of the Worthing Lions Classic Car Show. And for those of you who are thinking about heading over on holiday to England from your home country, would I recommend one goes there if it's going ahead whilst on holiday? 100% yes, but I'd leave it to one's own discretions. Thank you for listening to this very insight of the Worthing Lions Classic Car Show event. As does I too, Pamela, as does I, and I enjoy going to them. No, couldn't agree with you more, couldn't agree with you more. No, I said I was going to do just over 2 hours for this one. I didn't mean finish exactly at 2 hours on the dot. I meant I was going to do 2 hours or slightly over. That's to say. Oh, hi, Nutmeg. Hello, hello, hello to you. Just to say, but please, for those of you who cannot stay for the whole live stream, it's completely no trouble. It's completely no trouble at all. We're not finishing just yet. We've still got a few more minutes to go. We've still got a few minutes to go, Nutmeg, so no worries at all. We're not going just yet, but we've still got a little bit of time because like I said to my mods, it'll be 2 hours, but not finishing at 2 hours on the dot. Not just yet, but in about maybe 5 or 10 minutes, we're going to be finishing off, something like that. You know, I need to finish in time for the Know the Cat live stream to tell oneself of things. But hello to our Nutmeg. But you've came in for the last few moments, Nutmeg. Thank you, Pamela, Maria, and Hailey for your friendliness towards Nutmeg. No, but please, Harriet, even though you continually and constantly remind me so, I do take into account other people's times. Just to say, and also it is no problem. It is no trouble at all if one cannot stay for the entirety of the live stream. It is no problems whatsoever if one cannot stay for the live stream from start to finish. It's no trouble at all. Even if one comes at the last moment, it's certainly completely no trouble at all whatsoever. I thought I'd make that very clear here. And I think I'd show one more of my old presentations. I mean, obviously, because most of you have already seen them. Most of you have already seen them. Just finished my workday, 5 p.m. No trouble at all, Nutmeg. No trouble at all. No, I remember you saying this to me before. Pamela, yes. And it's always very interesting when you share that story. But one more presentation, my old presentation I'm going to show, and then I'm going to show a good few pictures, and then once that's done, because one needs to take into account one's time and all that and be mindful of one's times, and once that's done, we shall be finishing things off. But I'm just looking for the one I'm going to show and all that. Okay. Now, as one can see here, this is a little presentation featuring Tinker's Park to show what it's like. Tinker's Park, the enchantment of Tinker's Park, is a steam rally event or as I'd so like to describe it, a vintage and steam rally event, or a steam fair, as some of you would so like to describe it. And would I say it's worth going to? It most certainly is. It is worth going to for all people of all nationality, no matter what their background. I would recommend it to all holidaymakers internationally, Tinkers Park, for whenever it's on. The only thing with Tinkers Park is that it doesn't happen regularly. It only happens over certain periods of times annually, with one batch taking place in either the very early June or the final weekend of May, before the half-term school holiday is over, and another in August and one on the final weekend of September. As one could see, Tinkers Park has got a miniature railway, a narrow gauge railway, vintage vehicles, steam traction engines, steam vehicles, and the organs. Well worth the visit. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation of Tinkers Park itself. Yes. And since we've got Nutmeg in here, Nutmeg, there were some, obviously those are presentations you would have likely seen before yourself, Nutmeg, but there were some new presentations that you may not have seen as of yet. Nutmeg, I'm pretty sure we spoke before that it's unlikely you'd be able to make the UK flight as a result of poor health. But I would really, Nutmeg, taking into account your poor health and what it's got to the point of, I really wouldn't advise you flying over to the United Kingdom, at least not in your state of condition. No, I really wouldn't recommend it. And if it's got to the point where you've got completely no energy to the point where you can't go out on a nice adventure or a trip out, I would advise not flying over to the United Kingdom. You know, if it's got to the point where your health is that poor, with so many different health problems, you know, I really wouldn't recommend you do it. It's not a good idea. It's going to be a few months yet before Tinkers Park starts again, Pamela, but I'm looking forward to going again. Oh, the Vaux Electric Railway. I'll try and do a presentation on it for whenever chance allows. No, of course, one can dream indeed. No. When weather is nice. No, Tinkers Park generally only happens, Nutmeg, when the weather is nice. But Nutmeg, there are some presentations you missed, but I'm going to show them for you to see now, even though I'd showed it to everybody. I thought I'd show it now for you to see, just to say. Okay. Well, in this very representation here, we're going to look at some insight into an interesting cliff funicular railway, being that of the Hastings East Hill Cliff Railway, or the Hastings East Hill Cliff Funicular Railway. That is a very, very wonderfully fun funicular railway for one to ride on. But history has it, regarding the Hastings East Hill Cliff Funicular Railway itself, is that it was opened in August of 1902 by the Hastings Borough Council, which was originally operated on the water balance principle, and the twin towers of the upper station contained water tanks for that purpose. The line was modernised between 1973 and 1976, during which time it was converted to electric operation and new cars were provided. The line was shut in June of 2007 at the time of its 105th opening anniversary because of an incident where a fault in a control panel caused the cars to fail and stop at the right point, which resulted in damage to both cars and stations, which led to a major refurbishment program in 2008 for the new cars and new safety controls. Before long, the line reopened in March of 2010, and it's been opened ever since. But following the closures of the lines of the funicular railways in Broadstairs and Margate, the Hastings East Hillcliffe Funicular Railway, astonish one as it might, remains now the steepest funicular railway in the United Kingdom. What a surprise revelation that is. But I've had the privileged fortune of riding the Hastings East Hillcliffe Funicular Railway twice. First back in October of 2021 and secondly in February of 2025. And I'm certainly looking forward to riding on it more times throughout 2025, the Hastings East Hill Cliff Funicular Railway. Thank you all most sincerely kindly for taking the time to listening to this very representation itself. Thank you kindly always. I never found out its original purpose, Nutmeg, but I only found out really its history, but never found out its original purpose. But I wish I could tell you. Wish I could tell you if I'd found out its original purpose. I've only found out its history, but I think the only purpose it really serves, Nutmeg, is taking people up to the top of the cliff top where it has the nature reserve. I think that's the only purpose it has. But other than that, I think that's the only purpose I know it has, to take people accessibly, take people up the cliff tops fairly quickly, even though it goes up slowly, but obviously it goes up more quickly than one's walking pace to get to the top for a nature reserve walk or to see the top of Hastings and all that. Namely for holiday makers and all that. Just to tell you all things and visitors visiting Hastings. Couldn't agree with you more, Dottie. Certainly couldn't agree with you more. Went on something similar in Barcelona. How interesting. How interesting. If one was to visit quite an enchanted point of interest, or a fun and inspirationally interesting point of interest, might I recommend the Hastings West Hill Cliff Funicular Railway, or sometimes it's just simply known as the West Hill Lift, which as which to share the insight regarding it in its representation and things, is a funicular railway located in the East Sussex seaside town of Hastings. It's been in operational since 1891, the Hastings West Hill Cliff Funicular Railway, opening up 11 years earlier than the Hastings East Hill Cliff Funicular Railway and things. And with 500 feet in length and 170 feet height difference compared to the other railway, with 2 cars and 16 cars per passengers, or 16 passengers per 2 cars, for which it could fit in and maintain. The first operator went bankrupt in 1894, probably as a result of the construction's delays and the cost overrun. And it was ran by the Hastings Partner Lift Company until 1947, 2 years after the Second World War. After the end of the Second World War, that is to be precise. But to mark the railway centenary, the line was fully refurbished in 1991. And in addition to the Hastings East Hill Cliff Funicular Railway, this Hastings West Hill Hastings West Hill Cliff Funicular Railway proves instrumentally useful in giving visitors and holiday makers access to the Hastings Country Park for those who are visiting Hastings. And also, I had the good fortunate privilege of riding on the Hastings West Hill Cliff Funicular Railway back earlier this month in February of 2025, and certainly am I aiming to ride it again, more times throughout 2025 or whenever chance allows. Thank you all most sincerely kindly for taking the time in listening to this very representation regarding the Hastings West Hill Cliff Funicular Railway. And here's to certainly more visits to this particular wonderful funicular railway itself. Thank you all for listening, everybody. Thank you, Nutmeg, for the compliments. But from my end of experiences riding on them, I could just keep doing it over and over and over again. I really could keep doing it over and over again. I certainly could indeed. Oh yes. No, I love these funicular railways. Don't know if they've got a funicular railway like this in Massachusetts. I'm not terribly certain, but you know, I could just do it each and every time. Oh, it would be quite a substantial amount. Quite a substantial amount. Beats walking up the hill. This is what they do. It beats your walking pace going up and down these places. Just to say, Pamela, it beats walking up them. Hi, Matt. Hello to you. Hello, hello, hello to Matt. Hello. Certainly is it a real pleasure seeing you here. No, 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 no. I've not frozen. I've not frozen. I'm still here. I'm still very much here. Just to say, I've not once frozen. No, no, no. And what was I looking for? Oh, you take care. Sleep well, Carly. Ta-ta for now. Sleep well. And epic motivation. Oh, this here is my Hastings portrait I took. My Hastings February 2025 portrait picture here, which I thought I might show to all of you here. Matt, to tell you something, it was Nathan Lawson recommended this place to me. That was what he recommended to me. And he did tell me all of that. Yep, the Hastings selfie, Maria, the Hastings selfie. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you kindly, sincerely, always. Thank you. Thank you. The towns Linton and Lynmouth are beautiful places too. Though I've never been, Matt, I would think about going in the future, but not on an event attending weekend. Yes, Matt is in the house, Pamela. He most certainly is indeed. Now we've done representations for our epic motivation. Now it's time to show a picture or two, and then we're going to wrap things up because we are well over 2 hours into the live. And also, Harriet would be asking me to be mindful of others, but I just hope she's not upset with me going over, because I said I wasn't going to finish 2 hours on the dot. But I hope she and Jodie are not too upset with me. Think Harriet's lurking, that's my guess. Oh, thank you, Pamela. Thank you kindly. Thank you. Thank you. You like my jacket? This used to be my bestie David's jacket, but he no longer needed it. So I've as opposed to it being thrown out, I've now got ownership of it. I'm a cool guy. Thank you, Martin. Yes, old red phone, but to explain something here, this is a selfie portrait of me at the Amberley Museum in the telephone display zone. You know, that's a selfie portrait of me with an old telephone in the telephone zone area. And I thought I'd take a picture of me pretending to make a phone call on it. I certainly thought it was worth it. Yes. Oh, thank you, Maria. Thank you kindly. We're going to be finishing off in a minute, just to say. Now, but just to say, now just to let you know, the link to the No Other Cat community is now live streaming, so I'm going to be going over to there now to watch it. Can I thank you all most sincerely, kindly, for taking the time in watching and listening to this very live stream of mine. We're live streaming again tomorrow, but at a later time, and we're going to do it for a shorter time tomorrow. Ta-ta for now, goodbye, and may happiness be knocking kindly on your doorstep.